Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of Cut the Shit, Get Fit. I'm your host, Rafal Majashevsky, and today I am in my bedroom. I'm not driving today because I am trying to stay the fuck home, just like everyone else should be doing. So I wanted to continue the streak of episodes without missing Sundays. And I'm really excited about my top 3 most listened cities because we have a brand new one at number 2. But before I get there, number 1, out in Australia, we have the city of Melbourne. And number 2, really pumped about this, all the way in South Africa, the city of Durban. Hopefully I said that correctly. And number 3, all the way in the UK, we have a city called Whitchurch. So really, really, really cool to see that. What I want to talk about today is motivation, especially during this kind of time where your gym is probably closed. You can't really go out, hang out with friends, workout partners, whoever gets you going with your fitness goals. And also a lot of you probably are unemployed now. The whole idea of buying gym equipment like everyone else is doing to stay fit at home might not be an option for you. So you kind of have a lot of cards stacked against you, and honestly, it's not the most ideal situation, but during this time, it's definitely a test, and there's still a chance for many of you to find success during times like this. And I want to revisit this whole topic of motivation. Like, I've spoken about motivation a lot on my podcast, but I think it's very fitting now in the situation we're in. So I've said this a bunch of times, where motivation is a feeling, right? And if you really think about this feeling, where does it really come from, right? And I kind of look at it as like, it has to be almost like a passion, right? And not everyone has a passion for fitness. So, like, for myself, for example, like, I'm the exception to the rule. Like, trainers in general are just freaks of nature when it comes to this stuff. But for the most part, like, if you think about having something inside you that's kind of guiding you, so this comes down to intrinsic motivation goals. If you have this goal and you can like really, really see it, like, say it's, yes, I want to lose 50 pounds. And that motivation kind of gets you going in the beginning. That's why all the time when people start their New Year's resolution, they're like, yes, January 1st, I'm going to start working out every single day. And then after a few weeks, they kind of drop off because that initial motivation kind of falls apart. Whereas if they made smaller goals towards that big goal, that motivation would kind of keep going. So yes, you can say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. That's my overall goal. But if you start creating smaller steps to it, then that's going to lead you to that big goal. A lot of times people get goals that are way too big and they lose that motivation. Whereas you can say, for my 50 pounds, I want to be able to start going to the gym 3 days a week, right? And that's your only goal. So imagine only focusing on something like that during this time where, say, you used to train in 7 days a week because the gym was so available to you, you were able to go out and not worry about it. You can go after work, before work, you can do it on your lunch break, but now you're kind of just at home without anything, without any kind of guidance. So something as simple as breaking it down to, I still want to hit my goal of 50 pounds, but I'm going to try to work out at home 3 days a week. Like, that is literally better than nothing, compared to sitting on your couch watching everything on Netflix and Disney Plus. You know what I mean? And it almost sounds like kind of cliche and kind of stupid, like, oh, just smaller goals are going to make me successful. Well, yes, they are. Right? And that's going to keep you motivated, because say you start this today or tomorrow, that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's going to be a home workout day. And say you do your first week, you're going to be like, oh shit, like I did it. This is awesome. Right? Those things will start adding up, and that motivation is going to kind of keep going. And, you know, I always kind of look at also, when it comes to motivation, to your why. So if you think about why you started in the first place, and really hone in on those feelings that you had when you decided that, you know what, I've been talking about this forever. I really, really, really want to lose those 50 pounds. I'm ready to do this. I'm going to commit to my health. I'm going to do everything in my power. All those feelings, those initial feelings that come from here, deep down inside, those are the feelings you have to constantly like rethink about it. And when you know, search up online about people going into like meditation and self-reflection or gratitude journals or journaling in general, it gives a chance for you to express your feelings and your emotions. Like, ask yourself, when was the last time you sat down and felt what you were feeling? And then ask yourself this next: when was the last time you've done that? And also tap into previous emotions of how you felt, you know, a year ago when you first started this journey. You probably have never done that. Just taking a time to sit back and reflect on how you started, where you started, those feelings will be brought up and kind of will renew that feeling of emotion and feeling of motivation. And during this time especially is where we need it the most. So really think about that. Like, think about those feelings you had where you were so motivated and trying to harness that, right? That's your purpose, right? And to stay motivated, you need to constantly feel that purpose. If you're just running through the motions constantly, you don't have a purpose, then you're not going to, you know, get anywhere. It's kind of similar to like if you started a dead-end job, for example, and all you have to do is clock in, clock out, do the same shit every single day. You're not going to stay that motivated to keep going or add in extra effort. But if you were going to a job where it allows you to be creative and have full control and things are always kind of a little bit different every single day, you're going to have more motivation to put in the work and put in the effort. So same with your own goals. Like, if you think back to those feelings constantly of how you started, that's going to keep that purpose of you changing your life in a prolonged time, right? A lot of us forget this like crucial step is reflecting back to the feelings where you first started, right? You can apply this to other parts of your life. Like, you know, when you're in a relationship, a long-term relationship, you kind of start getting into a rut of the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then you get into those weird thoughts of like, why am I even married? Why am I even with this person? But if you take a second to reflect to those feelings you had when you first started dating that individual, like all those feelings of love and emotion and like excitement are going to come right back. Like, when was the last time, say for those people who've been in a relationship for like 10 years, like think back 10 years ago when you guys first started seeing each other. Like, a lot of different emotions and excitement is going to start coming, and you're going to be like, you know what, we should go out on a date, we should go take a trip, we should go do, like, you're going to build all this emotion to put in more effort into your relationship. Same thing with your goals. Think about all those feelings you had when you first started. You would be amazed how much you can pull, right? So for right now, when everyone's at home, they don't have a lot of motivation to get their fitness in check. Think back to those first moments where you decided that, hey, I'm going to make fitness a priority in my life. That motivation is going to come back, and guaranteed tomorrow you're going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to start training, I'm going to start eating proper, I'm not going to start drinking beer at 9 a.m. anymore. Just think back to your purpose. Think back to those feelings you had when you first started, and guaranteed you're going to feel a lot more motivation just rolling inside of you, and you will be successful. Like, this time, especially being stuck at home, if you're following the rules, it's tough, right? Like, it's really tough to be in the same environment all the time, whereas when we were allowed to go out, you could do a lot of different things. So I'm going to end it there. Short and sweet. Crush this motherfucking week. You guys got it. Think back to those feelings, and guaranteed you're going to be a whole new person. So that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble. You guys are amazing. Share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you for listening to me all over the world. Hit the show notes, add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram, because I post a lot of great content in picture and video form. So until next time, you guys, that's it for me.